Welcome to the Get More from Fent with Fent One Offboard webinar. I'm Andrew Davis, National Sales Manager for Fent, and I'll be officiating this evening's session. Fent continues to push the boundaries of agricultural technology, focusing on high standards of performance and reliability. The Fent One Driver's Workstation is designed to enhance ease of use and adaptability across various Fent tractor series, enabling farmers to manage their operations more effectively. We'll kick off the webinar with an introduction to Fent One Offboard from Peter Henson, who is a Fent product expert for Fent One Offboard, where you'll learn what it is and how it can benefit your farming business. Following that, we'll have a conversation with a Fent customer, Richard Lim from Robert Thomas Farms, who has been using Fent One Offboard. He will share insights into the efficiency gains they've experienced. Finally, we'll wrap up by showing you how to get signed up for Fent One Offboard right away. If at any point there's any questions, please add them onto the chat as we go through, and we will endeavour to answer all these questions at the end of the event. Okay, let's hand it over to Peter Henson to kick off the webinar. Peter, take it away.
Thanks so much, Andy. As Andy said, I'm Peter Henson from Fent, and we're going to have a quick look through the Fent One Offboard portal. So, the question is, what is Fent One offering there? And certainly with Fent One, the idea behind the system is to offer an easy to use system there. It's very much looking at being a machine centric tool. Whereas a lot of systems out there at the moment, the machine side of it is very much a side issue there. So is when it comes to collecting data from the machines, can sometimes be a little bit clunky, a little bit hard to do. So Fent One Offboard tries to strip all that back and make it as easy as possible. And then it has kind of a very much a clear focus on looking at those high frequency use systems such as machines, fields and task management. But the important thing as well with the Fent One Offboard, it also works with our older platforms as well. So when we're looking at in regards to machine management, we get a nice simple overview of all of our connected machines that be connected to the Offboard portal. We can see then the basic telemetry data that's coming through, so be that live location, fuel, AdBlue, and hours in there. But it's not just then the Fent machines that we can see. We can also see the implements as well. So anything that's been hooked on to the back of the tractors, is we can capture that data as well, such as the guidance offsets, and host that on the portal. It's also as well, we can look at the field management side of it. So this is where we can get all machines singing off the same hymn sheet. There, manage our field boundaries, our naming, our way lines. If we've got any obstacles in the fields as well, we can tidy that data up and then share it across the rest of the fleet. So everyone's working from the same data set there, and it also then means that we've got that secure database, so we're not at risk of losing any of the field data there as well. And then throughout the process, we can either manually add or edit field boundaries as we go through. And then within there as well as we've got the task management side. So this is where we might want to, where we're collecting or capturing the data of what's happened within the field there. So we can either have a two-way conversation, so create the tasks on the portal, send those out to the tractor. Tractor does the work, sends the job data back, or it could just be a one-way conversation where it's the tractor always creating the task and sending that machine that data back through there. And then within that, we see things captured such as area covered, path driven, quantity supplied, fuel used for that particular job in that particular field there. And then we can create that in an easy report, or we can export the raw data back out into another system. So that's kind of the general ethos of Fent One Offboard. So if we have a look to see what the actual portal is, it looks like. And so what we try to do is replicate what we see on the new tractor terminals here. So we have this tile layout, and we can divide these up into various pages. And we've got these 8 main tiles, and we'll have a look at a little bit more in depth as some of the main ones. But we've got our machines tile. We have our teams tile, where we can add in people that are involved in the farming process. In there, we can give access rights to various people as to what they can see, what they can't see, what they can do, what they can't do on the offboard portal. And also, as well, as if we've got any temporary workers, is you can add those people in, but also set a time limit as well when they'll automatically get removed from the system. I've spoken about the fields, how we can manage the data there, and we'll have a look at that in a little bit more detail. We have then what we call the Map Plus tile, and this kind of ties all the data together. And then we have two tiles for the task management side. So whether it's the creating of a task or the reporting of a task there, and again we'll have a look at that as well. And then within the background, then we have a Fent Explain, which gives us some tutorial videos. Some videos will be for the actual offboard portal itself, how to use that offboard portal, but also there's some how-to videos for the actual tractor terminal as well. And then the last tile is we have what we call the field data converters. This is where then we can import data, so field boundaries, waylines from other GPS systems, and we can convert them as well. So if we take a bit of a dive in, and we'll have a look then at our machines tile. And as I said then, in the machines tile, is we're not just seeing our Fent machines, is we can also see then the implements. So in this screenshot here, is we can see we've got two Fent tractors. I can see they're connected to the telemetry system in there, so I can see then their current hours. I can see their fuel level and their AdBlue, but then also we can see we've got some implements as well in the list. And then down the side then is we have a few buttons where we can import or filter out any of the data there. But if I click in on one of the tractors, is then I get an overview of the tractor data there. Serial number, when it was manufactured. Again, is the looking at the hours on the machine as well. We can see that data. And then is along the top there is we have some tabs, so we can look at whether we've got any servicing or warranty contracts on there as well. Down the side, then we have 3 buttons. One with the star, so you can set that as a favorite. But then is we have the middle button. Then is where we can actually click in and go and see the live location of the machine. And then the third button down then is where we can hot link into the telemetry website. But if I go to see the live location of the machine, then is when I click onto that portal there, it will show me then the current track of the machine over that 24-hour period within there, and we'll see that cursor moving and tracking the tractor live as it goes across the field in its work. For the implement side of it, then this is where we can build up this database for our implement. So ordinarily this data would live on the tractor terminal there, and so this just means again that we can have security of our information with that one. If the tractor gets traded in, again we've got all the implement data there, and so hidden, contained within the implements then would be information such as the guidance offsets that the operators have put into there. So that's all can be held in the offboard portal. So again, this can be shared with other tractors. So only one operator has to do all the working out of their implement offsets. They can share that then with other tractors. But again, as tractors come and go within the fleet, is this information is held, and then we can then share that back out. Probably one of the real big tiles to look at then would be the fields tile on here. And so when we're looking at screenshot here is we can see the number of fields we've got, but then we see these two other options that say updates and conflicts. Now, conflicts is when we've got one field, but there is multiple boundaries for that field, because it could be the situation where we've got 2 or 3 tractors. They've all individually gone into a field and they've recorded their own boundaries, but it's all under the same name. And so this would be displayed as a conflict, and it just means then that we can manage those conflicts. We can choose then, well, which is the correct boundary for the field, get rid of the other boundaries, and then share that one boundary back out to the remaining of the fleet within this. So again, we're always working off the same boundary. The other bit of information then is updates, and so this will always relate to way lines or obstacles within the field, and it's then how we choose what to do with those ones. So when I go into the fields tile, I see the list of the fields that I have in there. I can see then is to again whether there's any updates for those fields. I've also got the option to add a field at that point, so whether it's be importing data off a USB stick, or even if I wanted to manually draw around a field, I could add that one in there. But then when I click into the field, this is where I can then start to manage some of the field related data there. So when it comes for managing the way lines, is any new way lines, as I said, will come through as an update, and we can choose on how we manage those updates there. So I can either basically accept or reject those way lines. And it just means then that when we share this data back out, we should be overwriting what's already existing on a tractor and removing any way lines that we don't want. So some of those temporary ones that were just done for a basic cultivation. But also within there then is I can go in, I could edit the field boundary if I wanted to, so we can see all the various recording points as the fit boundary was recorded the first time round, and we can push and pull those markers in or out if we want to alter the boundary. I can also then, any of my preferred way lines, if they've just been left as the standard naming structure that comes on when the tractor's created the way lines, if the operator's not already labelled it up, then there is the option then to click on those way lines and actually edit the name, if that's going to become a permanent way line that you want to always use. And then also in there is we can choose then is where we want to add in any obstacles, whether that be a point obstacle, a line obstacle, or mark any areas. So whether it's a wooded area, a pond, is again we can much like how we create boundaries, we can draw around those sorts of obstacles then, and again share that back out with the tractors as well. And again, if a tractor's recorded this data, again we can manage it. So if they've dropped markers or again points within the field, again we can choose how we manage those ones. So again, it just means then that if one tractor's added a feature into the field, it's another way then that we can quickly share this information out with the rest of the fleet. In here then is this is where then we can start to capture some of the information as to when we're out working within the field. So as I said then is we could either have a two-way conversation with the tractor out in the field. So if I'm having that two-way conversation, I'm coming into this create task tile, and it's a really straightforward process as to how we capture that data. So usually the first thing that it's going to ask me then is what type of operation am I going to do? And so I'm picking out of the list there, or I could go to choose another task category in there. But what it does then is just starts to filter out then the machines and the implements then I see in the next stage. So depending on what I've chosen, so if I choose the tillage task there, it's only going to show me then tractors that are in the list there. So if I've got a rogator or an ideal combine in my list, then they wouldn't be shown there, because they wouldn't be related to a tillage task. And then I can see all my cultivators as well. So I can make the choice then as to which tractor I want to send my task to, what implement is going to be used, and then I can select various fields that I also want to add to the task as well. When I advance on from there, it says, do I want to if I want to tag a crop to this particular task there. So I can either choose to add a crop there, or I can skip past this step. And then the final step then would be I come through to a summary page in here, so I can see exactly then as to what I've chosen for my tractor, the cultivator that I've selected, or the machine I've selected, and then the field. So at that point, I can choose if I want to edit any of the information there. I can also change the naming of the task, so it can easily be identified as well for the operator. And again, I can also add in any notes that I want to send out for the task. So whether it be work fields in this particular order, or start at this end of the field and work in a particular direction, I can type those notes in, and they would come through into the task of the tractor. And once I'm happy with that data, then I just hit the green send button, and that will send then that task over the air to the tractor itself. The operator then will get a pop-up box on the screen to say that a new task is waiting for download, and then they hit the green tick, and then that information, that task then will be automatically downloaded onto the tractor itself, and then is depending on how the operator's got the screen configured, we can have it then automatically recognizing then what field it's in, because we've got a boundary associated with the field, and then when it drives into that field, then it can automatically prompt them that, yeah, there's a task here, do you want to start it with that one, and how it then handles that task. So we can turn on a lot of automatic features within the tractor just to make the operator's life a lot smoother, a lot easier as to how they handle and interact with that task data. But ultimately, once the tractor has finished the job, then we want to get that data back. And so, regardless of whether we've created the task on the portal, or the operator on the tractor has manually created themselves a task on the tractor screen, is when they've completed that task, is what they do is what we call is book it, and that just means then that it closes that task off on the tractor screen, and then sends the data back to the offboard portal. And so in here then, as I can see then as to whether I've got any new tasks, so they would come through as in this little orange box then saying how many new tasks I've got there. And then I can click through and see what data I have in there. And so when I come through to my task list, I see all the jobs that we get that come through, and whether there's any and all the new tasks then would appear at the very top of the list within there. And so in this side of it then I'll have a report per field. And so when I click into one of those reports, then I've got all the various all the basic data that the tractor has recorded. So obviously we've got the field in there. We have then the boundary area of the field. We have the start time, the stop time, as well as the date that the work was done. So the date of when it was started and the date that the job was closed. Sometimes some jobs might go over multiple days within there. But then more importantly then I see what the tractor has done. So I can see exactly then in this particular field then it's worked 4.1 hectares of the field. I can see effect in there as to how efficient the tractor was, if you like. So how much of the time was it effectively working there, what my ineffective time was. So usually ineffective time is turning on the headlands, or effectively when it's not working. And then I can also see how much fuel was used in that job as well. And then if I've got something isobus on the tractor, then is I'll get the information back from the Isobus machine as to what that's done. So if it was a drill, is how much seed was applied, or like a sprayer, how much spray was applied in there, or if I was looking at say a round baler or a large square baler, it would give me the bale count there. And if one of those machines then has got weigh cells on, it give me the total tonnage of crop that was baled, would also be shown in the report as well. And then it's within that information then is I can create what we call is heat maps in there. And so this is pulling out from the task details as to what's been done. So it will show me a variety of tractor information. So here, as I just pulled up fuel consumption for the tractor, and then as an example, then as I picked up some of the Isobus information as well from the drill that was used. And so we can display these two maps side by side if we want to. And again, is we can zoom in on there. We can start to maybe look at any features in the map that maybe we can't explain. So if I'll say, for instance, looking at forward speed, and I knew then that I was doing the cultivation and the tractor was working at a consistent speed, are there any spots in the field where it's all of a sudden slowed down for an unexpected reason? And then maybe those sorts of areas of the field might be wanting a little bit more investigation. So once I've got captured that data there, is what I can do is I can choose to export it if I want to. And so when I'm exporting the data, then is I can choose kind of what sort of format I want to export it out as. So I could choose a CSV file. So this would put all the data into an Excel spreadsheet there. I could ask it to create a PDF, and it would just replicate basically what we've just seen on screen and put that into a PDF format. Or I can export it as the ISO XML. So that would be the original raw data being exported back out as an electronic format. That if it wanted to share with another system, then that data is also able to be exported back out. But essentially, then is when I want to export the data, is I can go about this of several ways. I could either ask it to just to select everything in the list by hitting a select all button, and then it would obviously export everything out. I could either put in a search term in there just to look for something specific on there, or I could apply a filter again. So I'm getting a little bit more specific as to what I'm exporting. But if I was to look at, say, here as a CSV export, is if I choose to export that data, as I said, then is it will put everything then into an Excel spreadsheet. I can see then all the raw data values, so time, fuel used. If there's an Isobus input there, again, product applied, then I can start to do a little bit more analysis of the data for particular jobs. If I filter them out to look at a specific set of jobs there, we can filter that and be a little bit more specific as to what we look at. But again, just helps then as to if I'm starting to look at a costing of operation, how much time have I spent, say, ploughing, how much fuel has been used for ploughing, or whether it be an application in there. I can filter that out. I can bring that into the spreadsheet, and then I can start to analyze that data there and see exactly what's going on, and then start to get down to a cost of operation in there as well. Within there is just to help tie things together, is we have what we call as the Map Plus tile as well, and this will pull everything together with this one. And so when I go into the Map Plus tiles, I can choose then whether I want to display the fields display or zoom in on any particular tractor as well. Or what I can do is I can add in specific farm features into the map in there. So whether it was a particular, say like a pad where we want to be tipping muck or sugar beet, say for argument's sake, is we can map those sorts of things as well onto the portal. But it just ties everything in together. And then when I see like in this example here, as I selected the machine, I can see exactly where it is, where it's travelled as well. The last tile that I'm going to quickly touch upon is what we call as the field data converter. And so in this particular tile this is where we can import data from other guidance screens. So to populate the offboard portal is we don't have to have data straight from a Fent tractor. If we started off with a competing brand or a competing guidance system, is we can actually look to import that data, and we can look to convert it as well. And it's quite a simple process within there. Is I just browse to where I've got those guidance files, import them into the offboard portal there, and then it will ask me then what do I want to convert them to. So I can convert them into convert data into for other guidance systems as well, and look to share that back out via USB stick. So again, if we've got a multi-branded fleet in there, this is some way then that we can look to again share boundaries and way lines as well between different brands. So that's kind of a very broad overlook as to with the Fent One Offboard system in there. I've picked on kind of the main points, main tiles there of how we can manage our implements, how we can manage our field data, make sure machines are using the same way lines, using the same boundaries in there. But then also how then we can quickly and simply capture the data as well. So when the machine's been into a field, how long it's been in there, how much fuel it's used, how we've collected that data and put it into a simple report. But what I'm going to just do is then hand back over to Andy and Richard. He'll discuss how it's working for them.
So really, since we've only been using the Fent One system for 12 months, since then we've found it much more user-friendly than the competitive system we were using before. The operators find it much easier to input data. And the data I'm receiving from the machines themselves is much more useful, more tangible in the way of deciphering the efficiencies of the machines and then allocating that to costings. One example would be we do contract work for other neighbouring farmers on occasion, and when we're sending invoices, I can use this data proactively to not only evaluate the cost of the operation, and then obviously build in an accurate cost to ourselves and invoice it more fairly, but also to give tangible evidence and prove to the customer that what we've done has been correctly costed. So that's just one of the many examples. But as far as the operations on the farm go, we're finding the accuracy of the system is very reliable. We'll confidently be able to take machines and swap the data between the machines, and they can pinpoint exactly the data points and work much more efficiently. So that is proving to be very, very useful.
Okay, perfect. Just another one. How have your operators got on using the system, Richard? How have you found them interacting with it?
So the operators themselves vary in technical ability. Most are proficient, but some are more knowledgeable than others. So considering there's a wide span of understanding and ability, they've all found it easy to operate because it's very user-friendly. And it doesn't interfere with the operations or previous inputs. The date when it's asking for a request, it's actually very clear on the screen. The delays in transferring data are very short. And so, yes, they're finding it much more easy to utilise with everyday work.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, but basically, the other question was regarding the telemetry data. How have you found working with your dealer, G&R Pikett, and how have you found the collaboration has helped you through them being able to see the telemetry data of your tractor and, for example, when it's due a service?
Yeah, so we can plan servicing schedules much more effectively. We can be even proactive to them, although that's not generally necessary, as they're always very keen to let us know what's happening in their plans. But if, for example, they maybe are not aware of that the tractor's been working harder than expected and that it's coming up for a service earlier, we can just be a little bit proactive with that and just give them a heads up on that. But they give us performance data back from their side on the engine performance, idling times, and maybe flag up potential problems which we can look at on farm rather than have to have them travel out to us to see it in the first place. So the two-way communication line is very, very clear.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll move back to Peter just to give us a quick run through some of the compatible machines, and then we'll come back for some further Q&As. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Andy and Richard. You know, kind of very insightful as to how Richard is using the system on farm. So it's kind of just want to look to see as to with the system then as to how we can, or what terminals are compatible with the Fent One offboard system in here. So it's not just for the resolve of the new tractors. Is anything that's got what we call as the NTO1 10.4-inch terminal on it. So traditionally we would have seen this on what we call the S4 tractors in here. And so that would be with a 500 series, 700 series, 800, 900, 1000 series. So Profi Plus tractors in there, they would all have would have had the 10.4-inch NTO1 screen in there, and so we can activate those screens for the over-the-air transfer of data, and they can sit on the Fent One Offboard portal as well. We can also bring in the MT, so the tractors as well. They can also sit on the portal, as well as then the Ideal Combine and the Rogator self-propelled sprayer, because they're all running the 10.4-inch NTO1 screen. And then any tractor now that's got the new armrest in, so the 12-inch Fent One terminal in there. If we've got the guidance on the tractor, so that would be a Power Plus and a Profi Plus tractor. Again, is those machines can sit on the Fent One portal, and again transfer information. And then is through the portal is we can move information from old screen to new screen and new screen to old screen via the portal, all over the air. Again, making sure then that everyone, all operators and machines can benefit from the up-to-date information that's there for them. Just in regards then to machine requirement, what do we need to make sure that we've got on the machines themselves? Is one, we just need our guidance system there. So whether that be a what we call a Novatel or a Trimble receiver in there, it doesn't really matter which receiver we have on the tractor, as long as it's running Fent guidance. Then we can add those tractors into the system there. On the tractor itself, then it just needs a bit of software on there. Ordinarily is what people might refer that to as VarioDoc Pro. It has recently changed over the last few years to be called the Agronomy Basic Package. Essentially, that's pretty much been a standard on Profi Plus tractors within there. So this is what enables you to be able to, before Fent One Offboard, transfer data to and from the screens using a USB stick in there, and then it's something that might need to be looked at on one of the newer Power Plus tractors with the 12-inch Fent One screen with that one, because some of those might or might not have been specified on build to have that particular software on there. And then to enable the over-the-air transfer is we need a SIM card in there with a data plan. So if you're already got a SIM card in the tractor for your guidance signal correction, so N-trip in there, we just piggyback off that particular data network with that one. If we've not using N-trip in there, then is just any SIM card with a data only plan on there, or what we call an M2M SIM card would suffice with that one to enable then the over the air transfer with that one. And essentially then is how do we go about creating a Fent One Offboard account? And it's quite a straightforward process in there to do this. Essentially, is when we're on a web browser, if we type in Fent.1 into the browser address bar, it will bring us straight to the Fent One Offboard portal, and then down in the corner there in the red box we have a sign up button. And then this takes us through the process then of how to create our account. So one, it would just bring you through to what they call is create an AGCO ID. So this is where then is you're setting your username, your password, what email address you're going to use there. And then once you've gone through that process, it'll bring you back round then to this login page that we see. Input your email, your password that you've created, and then just start to follow the steps through. So one of the first bits that we come to is just choose your preferred dealer in there, and then once you've got that done, you can start to add in your machines. So typing in the serial number of the machines there, it will then ask you to verify those machines with that one, and then as you can start to then activate the Tarstock server subscriptions in there as well, and then start to import field and implement data to start to build up the actual portal itself. But throughout the process, then we always try to make it as easy as possible. And so what we do have then is a variety of how-to videos taking us through the various different steps as to of creating the account, and how we can then start to add machine data in there, how we can look to get our field data, what we call our master data, into the system, and then how we manage that data as well, looking at creating tasks. And so all these how-to videos are posted out on social media, on our website in there, just to help through with that one. And so it's again, like I said, is very broad scope view there, just showing then how quick and simple the platform can be, really focusing in then how we can capture the information from our machines in there and display it in a quick and simple way for that one. So with that one is what we'll do is we'll move into this question and answer. You see some come through the chat, and we'll answer off, try and answer off a few of them.
Okay then, so just overall then, thank you very much, Peter. That's been a fantastic overview of Fent One Offboard. It's very, very intuitive to operate. I think we can all see that from the slides we've been through. And also thank you, Richard
from Robert Thomas Farms. Thank you for your explanation and some of your user, more from the user side really, of how the system actually works and how easy it's been for the operators to use as well. So that's really good. So we're just going to move on to a few questions. There's been loads of questions come through. So anything we don't cover, we will endeavour to come back or put within the Q&A session after this. But yeah, there have been lots and lots of questions. So we'll just start off with a couple of these, Peter. There have been a few that we might have answered, but we will just run over them again just to be 100% sure. So first one up is a question from someone on the call. I'm aware modern or new Fents can come with telematics, but can the functionality be retrofitted to older machines or non-Fent machines?
So yes, with the telemetry side, or what we call Fent Connect, and in there is a module what we call the ACM module there that can be retrofitted onto older machines. I think it's for certain machines. There's a variety of different cut-in points in there. So dependent on we'd have to look at, for case by cases, we'd have to sometimes look at the serial number, just see how old the machine. But in general, if it's an S4 machine with the 10.4 inch terminal on there, so ordinarily it'd be looking at a Profi Plus tractor. Is we can retrofit in the telemetry module on those tractors there as well, and so that would then feed into the Fent One Offboard portal for that side to give the live location with that one.
Okay, perfect. How about importing data into Fent One from other machinery brands? Is that possible? Yeah, so
we can import data from other brands, other sources there, and so certainly if it was coming from a different guidance system that's not our own, that's where we can use the field data converter with that one. So with the field data converters, you can convert over boundaries and straight AB way lines in that one, and so we can convert that into an ISO XML format, which is what we typically use in the Fent machines. And so then that can either be use that to import into the offboard portal to say populate the field data set in there, if that's if we've got all our field data recorded by a competing guidance system with that one, or if we've got a different guidance screen there that we just want to share quickly with a Fent screen, or vice versa, is we can again convert that data. But that data, if it was going from a Fent screen to a competing brand, then that would have to be transferred by USB stick. But yeah, we can convert the data.
Okay, perfect. No, that's great. Another question that's come in, is this farm management information system cyber secure, and does Fent independently back up our data?
So essentially is the system, certainly the data, it complies with the EU data protection laws within that one. That's one thing that AGCO and Fent are very strict upon with that side of it on there. In regards to the data is solely yours. AGCO, Fent, we don't see the data at all. It just essentially passes through our servers on that side. So we don't see anything that is farm specific for that side of it in there.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Peter. And just a quick question over for you, Richard. Just looking at the operator system really, and your operators and how they use the system in essence. What would you say would be the huge differences from previous systems that you used on your farm? Was a question from someone.
Yeah, well, a number really. Primarily the ease of use. The operator found it much easier to adapt and to become used to using it, which helps its efficiency. the accuracy we find is much better. For example, when we're putting A/B lines in, we're finding the communication between the other machines is perfect. Becomes very important when we're ridging land up for carrots, for example, and when we're having to match up 3-bed machines with one bed ridges, essential for that sort of operation. So yeah, the ease of navigation, I would say, of the screens themselves, and also the speed in which they work. We found other systems have taken a long delay in downloading input data and also waking up. So the Fent system seems to be awake very quickly, which reduces overall time and makes every operation much more efficient.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think another question here. So I think this one's for you, Peter. How difficult is it to adjust the boundaries of different fields? So I think we did cover that a little bit.
So yes, it's quite a straightforward forward process in there. So is when we click in on the field that we want to alter, basically is when we click to edit the boundary, what it'll do is it'll show us all like the little dots that we see where the tractor is recorded. It's GPS data and it's plotting recording the boundary. And so it's just a case then of grabbing hold of one of those dots and moving it about the screen in there. So say for argument's sakes is you've taken a particular corner out of a field for say a stewardship scheme. Then is either you can delete some of those points in there to quickly kind of move the line in there, or like I said, is grab hold of those points and push and pull them. There, so it's a relatively straightforward point, and you've always then got a fairly up-to-date Google Earth image in the background to help. When you're trying to manually change those points there.
Okay, brilliant. Might be really useful, especially with a lot of the different grants and stewardship things going on. Being able to do that from the farm office. Would that be something you've ever done, Richard? Sounds quite interesting to be able to do it that easily.
Yeah, it's been quite easy for me to adapt because I do quite a lot of work with Google Earth anyway. So it's a very similar system to use. And so, of course, be able to use the same platform to work with the tractors as well as manage the land in that way has been very useful. And so I'm making a slow transition from the Google Earth platform through to the Fent One platform, which will collaborate with the machinery and the staff we're using.
Okay, perfect. Another question here. So if I've got all of my implements added on my tractor, do I need to re-put those all onto the Fent One Offboard system? I think it might be quite a bit easier than that, but over to you, Peter, if you could.
Yeah. So is with the implement side of that is when an operator's typically an operator would do it on the tractor is once they've created their implements is we can look to import them into the offboard portal side of it, and so then once it's sat onto the portal there, then for other tractors then it's quite easy to again either share a master data back out, and you can pick and choose then what machines what tractors you want to send those implements to, or it can be as you are creating a task and you're selecting a particular implement. As soon as you tag that implement to it, if the tractor's never used that implement, that guidance data goes back across. It's also as well is you can actually on the offboard portal create your implements there as well. So you can actually manually create an implement. So it doesn't always have to come from the tractor. You can manually create it in the offboard portal in a very similar fashion to what you do with how you do it in the tractor itself.
Brilliant. Okay, and then two other questions here that sort of link together. So it's to do with summer students by the look of it on an arable farm. So the guys asked here, if I've got guys working for me just through the summer, can I then delete them after a while, or can I automatically stop them seeing the system? That's all. Yeah.
So is in the one of the tiles that we didn't really go into much depth was the Teams tile. And so in there is when we are adding people that we want to give access to the system is one is you can set their access level rights. So there's a couple of presets in there, but then as well as you can kind of tailor make that again. So information that you want them to see, or maybe you don't want them to see, or you can give them access that they can obviously see it, and then also edit data. You can do that as well. But importantly as well is when you're going through there is you can actually set you get asked, do you want to set an end date for that particular person? So if it is a Harvard student, a temporary worker, there is yes, you can set an end date. So that's the fact is you as the farm manager, owner, whatever, you don't have to remember to go back into the system to remove them or revoke their access. Is the system would automatically do it if we set an endpoint. And sometimes it's when we're helping customers set them up on their offboard portal. If they want to add me into their portal, I always tell them is by all means add me as a team member, but set me an end date, whether that be a month, 2 months time. But then I just automatically would then get removed from the system without them having to remember to do that.
Okay, super. No, that's a really, really good update on those questions. Now, I'm just looking down. There's no other questions coming in, and we are quite quickly running out of time. So there are a couple of other questions that we will have to come back to you on, but that's everything for now. So thank you very much to Richard and Peter. I guess overall, Richard, it's wonderful to hear that your experience with Fent has delivered the efficiency and productivity gains your business needs and requires from us, and that's really the reason we're here, the reason we're trying to develop this as well. So all together, thank you for joining us tonight for our Fent One Offboard discussion. Thanks very much, Peter, very much for the great explanation on the Fent One Offboard system as a whole. And I'm sure that everyone on this call who hasn't got Fent One Offboard already is probably eager to sign up for it. So the website is quite simple. It is Fent.one. We will also attach that to the email that we send out, or that the Farmers Weekly send out, linking to this webinar afterwards. So please do join it. And I guess also if you're from a competitor's machine, so maybe you're running a competitor's products and you actually like the look of this and you want to discuss it more with one of our dealers, please do feel free to contact your nearest Fent dealer. And they will be happy to talk you through this. We have specialists all around the country. If you are currently a Fent customer and you want to get this as well, also please contact your Fent dealer. And we work very closely with the whole Fent dealer network. So we'll be more than happy to jump in and help you further with that. And also, if you are unsure who your local dealer is, maybe if you're running competitor tractors at the minute or machinery, please use our website and dealer finder, and you'll be able to find out exactly where they are and how they can help you. So I'd just like to say one final thank you to Peter and Richard for coming on and for discussing a very important subject for us tonight. And thanks all to all the audience for joining, and I hope that was really interesting for you. Perfect, thank you.